Now, there's definitely a certain trend, isn't there, with recent hit shows like Ashes to Ashes and Life on Mars to take a wander back down memory lane to reminisce. Casualty, however, has decided to go a step further. They haven't only gone back through the decades, they have stepped back over a century. Casualty 1907 star Cherie Lunghi is here this morning. First, before we speak to Cherie, let's see her in action. Here she is. That wasn't a real matron moment, wasn't it? My goodness, Cherie Lunghi joins us. Now, it's so nice to see you.
Yeah, it's lovely to be here. Thank you for asking on the show.
It's an ungodly time to get up, isn't it?
Well, no, in this job we get up at that time.
Yes, you do,
and I have just
don't
been
you?
working, so I am in that routine.
Oh, good, good. Right, this looks fascinating. So
it is.
Because medical care, what, a century ago must have been so different to how it is today.
This is what you realise when you watch this, that the exposure to risk, if there was an infection in a hospital in these days, it would rip through this hospital. There's an episode, there are 3 going out. One of the episodes describes how young children are being brought in at a time when there's an epidemic, and they're dying at the rate of 10 a night. They're losing 10 children a night because, of course, the hospital, the London hospital where it's based, was in the heart of the East End, where the poverty, the lack of sanitation, the cramped living conditions were so extreme that anything could wipe people out. And this is what their battle was.
Penicillin as well, we forget that,
yes,
don't we?
Before penicillin, yeah, exactly. 40 years before penicillin antibiotics.
Must have been fascinating for you, actually.
Absolutely fascinating, because as you say, what you're realising constantly is, my God, these people were on the front line, the frontier of medicine, fighting this battle, which most of the time they were losing, and they were putting their own lives at risk. It wasn't just the patients, it was the medical staff, the nurses. This was a very, very high-risk business, and you had to be totally dedicated.
Well, life was pretty much high risk then anyway, because the average life expectancy back in 1907 was only 45 years old, which means none of us would be here this morning.
One of us would be here, but I'd only have another year left.
Yes. Make the most of it.
But isn't that incredible to think how far we've come
Absolutely.
in 100 years?
And I think 1 in 5 children die. The statistics are... They make you real.
Yes, 1 in 5 children used to die before the age of 10.
There you go.
Which is how Africa still is, actually. So if you think, hopefully it won't take them 100 years to come to where we are today.
You could say it was what we would now call third world conditions, definitely in the East End, yeah.
And did you enjoy playing a matron?
I loved playing her.
She seems a very prim matron.
Well, she's got a huge responsibility. She's got to be like a military leader. She's got to run things like clockwork, establish and maintain incredibly high standards, and make sure everybody follows those standards and stays in line, or lives are lost.
And who's the man that clearly
Dominic Jeffcott, yes. Lovely Dominic. He is he's a blast from her past. Right. Because what you realise here also is the choices that women in particular had to make at this time. Well, there wasn't very much choice. If you went into a profession like this, it was based on the sisterhood of nuns. Medicine and healing and nursing began in the religious orders. So there's that sense of, that underlying sense of dedication, sacrifice. And so if you choose a profession in nursing, you can't have it both ways.
You can't have to work.
Yeah.
In those days.
It was what, sorry?
Rare for women to work in those days.
Yes, no, it was, but you couldn't have both. You know, you had to be the domestic goddess, the perfect...
Well, we're still trying to figure that all out, aren't we?
Well, it's true. No, it hasn't changed in that. At least we have the choice now, and it's easier to sort of negotiate, but there it was cut and dry. It was one or the other.
Do you know, Cherie, just looking at you this morning, you remind me very much of someone who's over the front of all of our papers this morning.
Oh, my God. I thought you were going to say I reminded you of the matron you had last time you were in hospital.
No.
And it's not Camilla.
And there, look, you remind me very much.
Maybe it's the Italian genes. I'm flattered.
You're half Italian.
Yeah, my dad was Italian.
And you speak fluent French.
I speak fluent French. I speak some Italian.
You could have married President Sarkozy. It could have been you.
You wouldn't have been able to wear those boots with those high heels, though. You wouldn't have allowed it.
It's interesting, isn't it? That's a bit Sylvester Stallone, all that, isn't it? I once met Sylvester Stallone in Hollywood with Bridget Nielsen, and it was the same. She was wearing flatties, towering over him, and he was in very stacked shoes.
Yeah, was it really odd, isn't it?
A lot of gold chains.
Tom Cruise does the same thing.
Well, it's lovely to see you. And Casualty 1907, 3 parts.
Yes, 3 parts, starting Sunday night on BBC One at 9 p.m.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Nice
Thank you.
And not a single mention of the coffee ad.
No, I thought that. No,
we won't do it. We won't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we do. Look at that. Sweet. Look at, oh, no,
I hope that
I look like a little baby. Oh, yeah, hello.
That's our cheap coffee that poor Cherie's been subjected to this morning, not the one she used to advertise.
More drama this morning. We'll be talking to Adrian Evanson at 8:20, finding out what it's like playing the former lead singer of a punk band going through a midlife crisis. So I quite fancy that one.
And we're talking about keeping children away from violent games. You know, the sort PlayStation, Nintendo DS, computer games. How do you do that? Parenting expert Tanya Byron is here to unveil her in-depth report, along with the man who commissioned it, the Prime Minister, no less. All that to come after this.